And we're back. Howdy y'all, this is Ethan Bonreal playing Oracle of Seasons, and last time we were here, we went to a land called Subrosia, did a dance, got a boomerang, then we went to the Temple of Seasons, got some plot, found a rod, and now we can make it winter. This time around, we are going to make it to the second dungeon, and probably get halfway through it, I think. That's what my schedule's looking like. We're trying to do here. So, let's go for it. But we do have some pit stops to make on our way to the second dungeon, so first, after we clear out these moblins, we need to go ahead and blow up that rock wall above us so that we can get some juicy rupees. I'm going out of my way to collect rupees a lot, but you really don't need to in this game. In Wind Waker, you definitely needed to collect rupees, and in fact, I think most of the newer 3D Zelda games, like rupee collection, is pretty important, because it gives you access either to special items, like in Twilight Princess, or alternatively, you need it to actually beat the fucking game, like in Wind Waker. But I digress. We don't really need it, but it's nice to have. Later on in the game, we meet a witch named Syrup who sells bomb shoes, so we can use that to buy the bomb shoes because they're pretty expensive. But I won't talk about that too much now because I don't want to get y'all excited. It's going to be a while before we meet her. But anyway, how are y'all doing? Let's kill these moblins again. I am doing just dandy-rific. It is like 2:30 on a Monday morning. No, it's Monday afternoon. It feels like morning because I woke up fairly recently, but I have not done anything today. I do have class though, and I'm kind of sad about that. I really don't want to go to class, but I gotta. Hey, we're in this person's house. Let's go ahead and talk to her. Hello? Ah, you startled me. Winter sets in, and all of a sudden, then down my chimney comes... You're not Santa. You don't scare me. Now take this shovel and fuck off, nerd. And keep it while you're... Oh my god. Man, she's a little bit aggro. She's really mad we are not Santa. And that's okay, because she did give us a pretty neat shovel. So the shovel's actually pretty important in this game. In addition to letting you find rupees by just digging random holes in the ground, you actually need it to clear the snow that piles up during the winter in this game, so that is one of the benefits of having the shovel. And then you need it actually to find some items that are important to the plot later on, actually, which I'm pretty sure you didn't have to do that much in Oracle of Seasons, but I digress. Or Ages, my bad, Oracle of Ages. Anyway, how are you nerds doing? I'm doing just dandy. This past Friday, I had the craving in my heart for the intimacy of a man, and that resulted in me going into a wacky, hilarious adventure in which, I did not find the intimacy of a man, but, just disappointment. So, I got on Grindr, like, 30 minutes after I woke up, because I had that man hunger in my mouth. And I was like, I should have sex up the butt. That sounds pretty fun. So, I messaged this dude who was fairly close to me, and we started talking, and he was like, sure, I would love to have sex up the butt with you, and I was like, thank God, because that's usually a chore to find someone interested. And I was like, okay, well, I'll be like 30 minutes, I need to shower, and then you live like 10 minutes away, so I'll just go ahead and drive over. Let's go ahead and change it to winter here. So, I showered, and then as I was getting out of the shower, getting dressed, and getting into my car, I was thinking, man, it would be really terrible if this dude, like, found someone who lived marginally closer to him, and just, like, did it with them instead, and didn't tell me, because that's something men would do. That's happened to me before, actually, a lot of times, where, like, I'm on my way, and then they just, like, block me, because they found someone closer. And that's really obnoxious. Hey, it's Mabel. I guess I'll finish this story after. Actually, I guess I could keep talking. Nah, actually, let's give Mabel her time. Alright, so... Hello, Mabel. So, this is actually the next step of the trading quest. You have to run into Mabel. Ouch! Sorry, I got distracted for a second. Watch where you're going. You just hit Maple, the Great Witch Syrup's apprentice. Oh my. That's one of those Lon eggs that are all the rage. With girls now. It's just what I'm looking for. You're a boy. You don't need it. I'll give you my doll for it instead. You traded the egg for the ghastly doll. Looking at it gives you the chills. You can't see the doll, but it is pretty spooky looking. This makes up for your bumping into me. See ya, nerd. Okay, well, thank you, Maple. We're gonna use that ghastly doll a bit later on when we head to the next area before the next dungeon. But back to my story. So I was thinking in my head, man, it'd be a shame if this fucker, like, found someone else to have sex with instead of me, and then just didn't tell me after I drove my ass over there. And so, spoiler warning, that's exactly what fucking happened. So, I get to his place, and then... Hey, we got mystery seeds. I almost forgot to announce that, but, mystery seeds, we're not really going to use them for that much in this LP TBH. They're not particularly useful, but they are pretty cute, because they have a random effect every time you use them, but... Oh, hey, we made it to the dungeon, holy shit. I've been flapping my mouth away at y'all, and we're already at the dungeon. So, this dungeon's pretty easy. In my opinion, we are going to get like halfway through it, I'm pretty sure, because I practiced this, and it was fairly easy to do. And it took me like 15 minutes to do almost all of it, so I'm a little bit behind schedule, or I'm actually a little bit slower than I intended to be, because I stopped to talk and wasn't really focusing, but I digress. Again. Whoops, I fell. So, I make it to this dude's house, and I check Grindr so I can message him to be like, hey, I'm here. But I notice he's offline, and I also notice that someone I live, like, they're not necessarily my neighbor, but, like, they live really close to me, so, like, I see them on Grindr all the time. And I was like, why is this fucker, like, still next to me? And then, like, it hit me just, like, really abruptly. I was like, holy shit, he called, like, my fucking neighbor, and, like, is having sex with my neighbor, because he was, like, 30 seconds closer to him. I fucking hate this planet. And so that's basically what happened. So I drove my ass all the way over there just to watch someone I live near get laid instead of me. And so I was furious about that a little bit. Well, actually, I wasn't mad. When I get upset about things like that, I just get more amused, really. In the grand scheme of things, I just kinda am like, lol, this is my life, of course that happened, why wouldn't it? So other than that, after that happened, hey, a fairy. Actually, I need to pause with talking about this for a second, because I got a wall to blow up, so let's go ahead and whip out these bombs here. There we go. So this room is actually, well, I don't want to call it a secret, because there's a giant fucking arrow pointed to it, but it's not indicated that you can blow up that wall. You just kind of have to be familiar with Zelda games. But you get a lot of rupees in here. We're going to get around 400, I'm pretty sure. So that's adding to our rupee count, which is pretty neat. Even though, again, we don't really fucking need rupees, but we got them, so we might as well use them. In Inti case. So after that whole scenario with that, I went to In-N-Out, as I often do, and was sitting in the parking lot, and then I get a message from someone on Grindr who's like, I would like you to have sex up the butt with me, and I was like, I love that. I was a little still kind of in the mood for man-loving, and I went to go meet this man, but he lived a good bit further away. And I was okay with it, because I was, like, really feeling some sort of way that required me to have intimacy. And I get to his place, and first things first, he catfished me. So he sent me a picture. He was an older man. He was, like, in his 40s or so. And he sent me a picture of a man that was in his 40s, so I was like, okay. In my mind, I was like, he wouldn't catfish me with, like, a picture of someone that age. Usually it's, like, someone much younger. And then, two, after I got there, yes, I was catfished. And then I was like, whatever. I'm here, basically, which I guess means I just validated his evil plot to ruin my happiness, but he was okay looking. In fact, if he had messaged me with just a picture of himself, I would have been okay with it. But basically, what ended up happening after that is, shit, I went the wrong way. This is why I can't talk and play at the same time. Oh well, we'll just go back. So I'm going to show you a quick trick here. If you point your sword away from them and they land on the sword, it'll like make you move forward more quickly, which is useful if you're just trying to speed through things. There you go. But it's probably not like a legit speedrunning tactic or some shit, but it is pretty neat to do. It's something I learned when I was younger. So, anyway, I agreed to have sex with him, against my better judgment. And when that happens, he literally, spoiler warnings if you don't want to hear about my sex life, he literally sat on my dick for like half a second and then just immediately came. And I was like, what the fuck is this planet? Like, why is the world like this to me? And so basically, again, I am denied having the coitus that I desired, so I gave up and just went on with my life. But that is basically my experience with that, and that's really that story. I did later end up meeting with another man, and we did have sex, but it was not that enjoyable, TBH. But he's a nice fella. But that's life, so, you know, I'm just gonna whip out my fucking boomerang and do this the way it's supposed to be done. There you go. So, I mean, there's no rule for this, but if you use the boomerang to hit them first, they can't move, and then you can blow them up with the bomb. And that's how I would do it as a child, but I was just being impatient there. Which is kind of what I end up doing when I'm talking intensely while playing this game, but, you know, get into it. So, now that we have the power croissant, which lets us pick up pots and other heavy things, we can get the map, and we can basically just plow through the rest of this dungeon. It's pretty easy. This dungeon should really be called the bomb dungeon IMO, because actually bombs are a little bit more central to beating this dungeon than the power croissant is. But we already got the bombs in the first dungeon, so you can't really say that. But there are a lot of bombable walls in this dungeon, and the boss requires bombs to beat it also, as well as the power bracelet. Huh. What else happened in my week? I didn't go to class on Monday. That was pretty great. I didn't fucking feel like it, so I didn't do it. And I didn't really need to, because I've been kind of strapping my group, because we're assigned groups to do classwork in this class. I had kind of been strapping my group on my back and fucking, oh my god, I just died. That's okay. Let's go ahead and go. I'd been strapping my group on my back and basically, like, carrying them through our group assignments, and I didn't feel like doing it today. I didn't feel like reading ahead for class and, like, basically doing 90% of the work. I just didn't feel like it. And so I didn't go. Because I'm fine. I, for the most part, I have almost, like, all hundreds in that class. And also, you don't necessarily need to be there. Like, you get a group grade, so even if you're not there, you get the same grade. Luckily, my group members are actually pretty cool. It's just that I'm 90% sure don't do the readings, or at least don't comprehend them that well, which is why I gotta step in. And that's okay, I don't mind that much. I just didn't feel like doing it that day. The boomerang is actually also really useful in this dungeon because the enemies just kind of run in a straight line at you. So that is one of the benefits of actually having it in this game. I don't know if you know this, but Oracle of Seasons was made to be more combat focused. I'm making air quotes with my fingers here, which means basically there's like a higher density of monsters and they're less puzzle monsters. It's more like walk up and smack them with your sword. Which is why we have all these fucking snakes just running straight at our faces. Oracle of Ages was meant to be more puzzle-based, and you can see that in the items that you get in that game. So, you have like the switch hook and stuff in that game, and in this game you get, I guess the switch hook's counterpart is like the magnetic gloves, but we'll check those out later. I'll tell you more about them then. Hey, I got a message. So, I don't know if I'm going to be able to edit that sound out, but I hope I am. I should have closed Slack before I started recording this. Alright, so I talked a lot about my life this episode, so The next part, because I'm about to cut the video here, we're gonna talk more about the game and finish off this dungeon, so I will catch y'all later. Thanks and bye.